Good evening, and thank you for joining me tonight on Ask on Tricia. I am Patriciatone, and tonight I have a spectacular guest for you today, and you're about to find out why. This guy has been a good friend of mine for a few years. His name is David Raibon. He is originally from Houston, Texas, a former police officer turned comedian actor for 26 years in Los Angeles. Now he's paying it forward in Arizona as a junior high and high school theater and public speaking teacher in Gila Bend, USD. His latest memorable acting roles include shows like Ballers, I Am the Night, and HBO's Insecure. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend and a funny man indeed, Mr. David Raibon. Hi, David.
Hey, Patricia, how you doing?
How are you, my friend?
You know, I can't complain. I'm still here. I'm COVID-free, at least the most I know of.
I just took that test as well, and so I am COVID-free as of today, too.
Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you for saving my life. And I don't know if you realize you saved my life back in 2014.
What?
And yeah, we were at the Comedy Union. What's the name of the club?
Los Angeles?
Yeah,
Comedy Union.
on Pico, Comedy Union. And I had decided to get up and stop being lazy and go see who was at the comedy club, you know, see if any of my old friends were there and things like that. And you were there and you were talking to somebody about ride sharing. And I was sitting on the bench eavesdropping, and you didn't know I was listening. And so after you told the guy all about the ride sharing and how you had signed up and you were happy and it was fun and easy, I stopped you and said, hey, what was that you talking about? And you told me about all that ride sharing information, and I went home and signed up. And because of you, I was able to keep my apartment, keep functioning as a human being, as an individual, and keep my life on track. And I want to say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Listen, I drove Uber for almost 7 years, and it did that for me as well. I mean, I got in just to get a little extra money. And then it turned out to be, it was so much fun. I was making money and I was having a good time with my own boss. Nobody tell me when to go to work, when to come home. And one day I picked up this guy, and this white guy in the backseat talking on the phone. And he was talking like he was a therapist. So he got off the phone and said, are you a therapist or a counselor or something? He said, no, I manage actors. And I said, well, I hadn't acted in 8 years. Couldn't get arrested in a casting office. And by the time I dropped him off, at his office, he said he had 1 foot in the door and 1 on the street. And he said, take my number, I'll meet with you.
Wow.
And I took his number and I called him. They gave me a meeting, gave me a reading. Then they signed me. And then within 6 weeks, I had an audition for How to Get Away with Murder, Snowfall, Ballers, and Survivor's Remorse. The only one I didn't get was Survivor's Remorse. Isaiah Washington got that role. Yeah.
Wow.
8 years, nothing. Picked up one guy. And then, you know, from there came I Am the Night and Insecure and whatever else. Yeah, I'm still with him right now.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I saw you post that clip from the Insecure show, and I laughed so hard. But more than that, I never been so proud to see you on that show, because I know the struggle of a comedian actor, being that I used to be one. And like they say, it's that being in the right place at the right time. And definitely that happened for you, listening to that story. Yeah. And I have to agree, having the conversations in that car, it was like being a therapist, you know, and listening and talking to people from all over the world.
I had a girl in the front seat of the car who was just dark skin. Dark as the night. And I've picked up many people from Sweden You know, in Sweden they have brown
Me
eyes.
too.
You
Yeah.
know, they got blonde eyebrows, blonde eyelashes, blonde hair.
Me too.
And I asked her where she's from. She said Sweden. I said, get the hell out of here. You ain't no damn Sweden. You black. You can't be. She said there's black people everywhere. What? They got black Swede people. So I learned that. I mean, Uber educated me.
Yeah.
I had a guy get in the car a gay guy who was complaining about his lover. That he wanted something from him that he didn't want to give him, and I was like, well, what are you giving? It's like, well, see, you asking for something from somebody you can't even give. I'm giving advice to a gay dude. I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah,
I don't know nothing about that. But love is love, and whatever is whatever. So
I was just about to go there. Driving just reinstated how people are just human. It doesn't matter where they're from, what color they are. Everybody that got in my car, now this is kind of sad to say, but they were amazed at the level of my intelligence in our conversation. And it was sad because they think African-American people are like really, really freaking dumb sometimes, or don't have any cultural experiences. And it really is insulting.
It's ignorance. Just like I was not, ignorant about the girl from Sweden.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, education only teaches you a certain amount. The rest comes through experience, and through that comes wisdom. But by that time, you've already made a fool out of yourself 100 times.
Yes. And that's just what I'm so, again, happy with you about when you told me you are now a junior high school and high school theater and public speaking teacher. You're paying it forward. You're teaching these kids. And that is amazing, David. Just congratulations.
Well, thank you. And it's been a real experience. It's the first semester is we're almost about halfway over the first semester. It's actually Gila being like Gila Monster.
I said it wrong.
you said like I said when I first saw it. I thought it was Gila being too.
It's a G.
It's a G. I said, ain't no J in there. So, well, what happened was, I reconnected with a lady who I met 13, 14 years ago in Arizona at a comedy show when I was working with DL. But we were both in a relationship at the time. So we just, it was nice. Her and her sister, I took her to meet DL. They took me out to eat, dropped me off. No exchange numbers, no nothing. I was trying to hang out longer, but she like, no, I'm going home. My sister got to go to work. And then you fast forward to 13 years later, I get an email from this club in Tucson that I worked, Labs, and they had a cancellation for a headliner. So I emailed them back and I got the gig. And then I went on LinkedIn, just messing around. And I saw a little round face of this female, and I thought, she lived in Buckeye. So I texted her on LinkedIn and said, how far is Buckeye from Tucson? She said, it's not that far. Don't you remember me? And I was like, no, I don't really remember you. So I met you at the comedy club with DL, at the theater with DL, blah, blah, blah. My sister, and then she sent me a picture, and then I remembered her sister, because her sister was the one who had to go, cutting out time to hang out together short. So, oh yeah, I remember. So then we talked FaceTime basically every day. This was like December or something, around January when I got the gig came. I flew into Phoenix, and she said, I'll just take you to Tucson. Took me to Tucson, and we started dating there. So then we got married in February. We went October last year. Lady? Yeah.
Wow.
October last year, we got engaged in Cancun when I proposed to her on the stage in Vogue, because I know Rona, and she set it up. So I got her on the stage and proposed to her in front of all those people. And then on 2/20/2020, we got married. So we tried to relocate her to Los Angeles. And she's in education. She's a PhD in education. So we couldn't find nothing there. She said, well, you come to LA, you come to Arizona, I'll get you a job. I'll find you a job. And I said, all right. So I come out here, and she set me up a meeting with the superintendent. And I'm talking to the superintendent, and he's like, well, if you want to sub, I'm pretty sure we can use you as a substitute. Like, okay, that's cool. It's, I can still do my acting. Right. And then the principal heard about me and Googled me, saw me. I was on Ballers, and he was like, this is my drama teacher. And then so from there, and then the standards is theater for this. They didn't have any standards for drama. So I'm the theater teacher. Then he threw in public speaking, and then he threw in personal development and self-management. So I have 4 courses. And I have never taught school other than DARE when I was a cop, 5th graders. So I had to learn lesson plans and I was just so frustrated. I just wanted to throw my computer out the window. I just get so mad. But my wife helped me with the lesson plans, and it's not so difficult now. But every day, school changes. In education, things changes. They'll tell you this is the way you do it. You do it this way. Don't do it no other way. You come back the next day. We're not doing it that way no more. We're doing it this way. And you're like, yesterday, no, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about today. Then you got to learn how to roll with the punches. And then once the kids came back, because we're doing online training at first, online school because of COVID. Right. But on the 28th, they came back, and that's a whole different experience when you start talking to the kids, and most of my students are Native American and Hispanic, so they're shy, so to get them out of their shell, I had to kind of like get on them and yell at them and like have them citing the mission statement of the school every day at the beginning of the roll call, like, we the students are here, look there, and finally eventually open. Plus they got room, you got mask on, so you can't really hardly hear them. So they're already talking low with the mask on, and then they shy. It's like, this is, so when I get off of work, I am dead. Oh my God. And it's an hour away from where I live. And then work 10-hour days. We're off on Mondays. We work 10 hours. This is fall break, so I'm off all week. So it's actually 12-hour days every day for Monday. So I can't do anything but this, and then I got to come back, get ready for the next day. But I made a commitment that my 8th grade class is my theater class. That I made a commitment that when they graduate, I'm done. That'll be 4 years, unless I get a series or something and it just doesn't work out. But if everything kind of stays the way it is, 4 years, and I'm trying to get them to give an 11th grade theater class, so they have a little bit more when they get out of high school if they want to go into the field, which I've chosen. But it's been an amazing experience. God put you in different places for different reasons at different times of your life, and you just can't ask why. You just got to get ready, just suit up and get in the game.
Yep, you got to go in. Yeah. Coach got to put you in.
Put me in, Coach.
Yeah, and it's funny because I always have people to ask me, why aren't you an instructor or a teacher or this or that? And that was my very reason. I'm like, I don't like the educational system, administration. I don't have time for that. I've been cussed everybody out in there over some stupid stuff,
That's funny too. That's my biggest fear. And just slipping up and just going, I know. You don't sit your little
that comedian.
Yeah.
That real life comedian comes out and be like, look.
And they know. They know I'm a comedian because they Google all my stuff. So they but it's an addiction.
I prefer to just mentor from my own arena, and that's what I do. I mean, even when I was in school, I would create student organizations, and that's where I taught and mentored and trained, and it was under my own stipulations, and I didn't have to abide by any administration because I didn't have time for that. But I've had instructors, professors, doctors, other people saying, Patricia, you need to be teaching. And I'm like, I don't want to grade nobody's papers. So no, thank you. I'll just stay on this side of it. And
I got a ton of essays to grade now as you speak.
I know. So I want to thank you again for being here. So we're going to get right into it now. Sure. What is the best advice someone has ever given you?
I have to say probably the best advice I ever received from anyone is when I was in narcotics for HPD, Houston Police Department. And I went back to school because I went to college at Texas Southern. I finished high school in 77. So I went 2 years majoring in drafting design technology, got disinterested and just started wasting my parents' money. So I got older, I became a cop, and I went to the narcotics. And then that was these two guys that were like legends from the academy, Willis Reeves and Kevin Blair. And Kevin Blair was like, he was just amazing. He's the one guy that kick the door, go in and get the bad guys. So he was a mentor. So while I was in narcotics, literally buying dope at night, I was going to school in the daytime and to get my degree because I wanted to go to DEA. And he gave me his DEA badge holder because that's where he had went. He gave me his badge holder. And then I got into a terrible, terrible shootout with another guy named Donald DeBlanc, who was deceased. He killed himself years after that. But it was just awful. And then another one a week later. And Kevin was like, man, you have something else. You know, lead this. Let this go. Go after your dreams. Pursue your dreams. And I did. You know, only thing I wish I would have stayed around if I could have lived guaranteed for 10 more years. Because 10 more years would have gave me a retirement, my pension.
Right.
But, you know, that's just wasn't the way it was. It was meant for me to do what I did for that time, as my fellow police officers who are all retired now say, you know, there would have been 10 more years of risk, you know, and I ain't have enough sense to go sit behind a desk. That just wasn't me. I wanted to be out there in the middle of everything, you know. So the best advice he gave me was just let quit being a cop, man, and pursue acting and stand up.
Well, yeah, you know, if it's anything like we see in the movies, no cop wants to be behind the desk. So we already know that they want to be out in the field, even with the firemen. They don't want to sit in the firehouse.
That's punishment.
Put out a fire.
Yeah, that's punishment. That's the worst thing you can do to us. You want don't suspend me. Stick me behind the desk so I get to look at real cops come in and leave every day while I'm sitting up there. Yes, may I help you? You had an accident? Okay, can I see your driver's license?
You about to make me pull out all my cop shows tonight.
That is the worst. I hate that.
I know how you feel when you want to do things and you can't do them. And, you know, it's just like when I was in high school, this is the reason why this conversation is almost full circle, because theater in high school saved me. My theater teacher to this day, I love her. I was vice president of the Speech and Drama Club, and we went and did competitions all throughout Texas and everything. And being in that class just transformed me 150%. You know, I became a better speaker. You know, we were in memorizing lines and things that helped me with my homework, you know, that memory sensor thing. And so that was like my favorite all-time class to this day. And I still love Miss Shelton. And you just know that those kids are going to love you till the end of time, because I don't know anybody who don't remember our Speech and Drama Club. It's just something you never, ever forget.
Well, it's so funny too, because I you know, drama wasn't something that I could, I guess, pursue in high school, because I was metal shop, you know, Houston. It's like, you know, Mr. Barr, anything you tell me to do. I almost lost my arm on a lathe. I'm serious. I had the little jerseys, you know, jersey with the holes in them, the little air holes, the little jerseys we used to wear. And I'm in there just working on the lathe, and the jersey got a hole. That thing turned around about 2,000 RPMs, and I was able to reach over and turn the machine off. I still got the bruise right here on my arm, my hand right here. And Mr. Barr, whenever he wanted to make something, you know, he tell me do anything, I do. And he had this long piece of steel. I mean, it must have been long, and it hung out the lathe. He making a slingshot. So he told me to hold it, you know, so it wouldn't pop out of there. And as soon as I grabbed it, popped out of there and hit me in the elbow. I still got that cut too. And he took me down and I almost fainted and everything. But I remember him, you know, to this day. And, you know, I got a job at Hughes Tool Company right out of high school. I actually lied because I was only 17 when I graduated. I had to be 18 to get that job. So I lied the whole time I was there for 5 years. They went to Chicago. I mean, went to China and sold all their business away. And,
but that's funny. You talk about metal shop, because those were my best friends. I don't know why or how I got into them, but I was always in the metal shop looking at what they were making, or I needed some piece of wood to be made for my speech and drama, you know, because they had everything and the guy would just make anything I wanted. Oh, and I guess it didn't help that I was captain of the cheerleaders, so I was kind of popular. They were like, you need what? What you need? Just what you need? I was just always down there. So I understand that. Yeah.
Those are the good. They almost killed me, but those are good days.
Now we're going to flip the script,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to ask you, what's the best advice that you've ever given to someone?
You know, I have to say the best advice I've ever given is also some advice that I received. This guy named Jesus Garber. Jesus Garber was a producer of Janet Jackson's Nasty Girl album. And I was in a previous relationship and I went to LA for the first time. And I know I was young. I mean, I think I was maybe 27, 28 years old. And I had went to, with my wife at the time, and went to Los Angeles. And it was her friend introduced me, and he gave us a tour of AMM Records studio and everything. And then I remember him telling me when I left, don't never give up. Whatever you do, just never give up. And then when I got home, he had called and left a message. And somehow the message had got erased, except for one part: never, ever give up.
Wow.
So that's my advice to anybody that's out there doing anything. Just never give up. I don't care if you're 72 years old. You give up when the power go out. Not in your house, I mean in your body.
Yeah, in your soul. Yeah.
That's when you give up.
I know, because, I was nervous and scared about doing this show. And the funny thing about me is, which a lot of people don't know or believe, but I never do projects when I'm at a weight or a size that I love about myself. I never have anything going on. Only when I gain weight is where everything
creativity flows.
Yeah, where somebody always want me on camera, and so this time we're in, like in quarantine, and I've been laying here eating in my new bed and gaining weight, gained all the way back that I lost by March. I just gained it back, and so I was like deeply depressed and still live fighting that about being so lazy, and I'm laying there and God was like, you need to get your big butt up, and do something.
Yeah, do something.
And I said, I kept looking though in my usual way for a talent. I like to put other people in front of the camera, and nobody, I could think of nobody that I really, really wanted to work with. And then we're in lockdown. I'm like, who the hell coming? You can't even go around people. And so God was like, if you don't sit your butt down and do it yourself and just do some work, I'm going to take all that equipment out of your house. So here I am.
Well, I think it's great. I think it's awesome that you got to do your thing, man. You got to keep moving. You don't want to stay stagnant or get stagnant, because then the time just ticks by too fast.
Yeah, it really does. And, my uncle started laughing at me because the only thing I've ever really, really wanted to be was a talk show host. And that was because I used to always watch Phil Donahue and Sally Jesse Raphael, Joan Rivers. Yeah. And then, my uncle was like, well, I hope you realize that you're now doing your own talk show, even though it's on YouTube. I was like, oh my God, I sure am.
You better believe
it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So never give up. And, I can't even lie. I've been having so much fun doing this. It's just really sparked all my juices and everything. I love this stuff. I love it. I hope to see you again soon, real soon, once Hollywood opens back up in your roles again, because I just love seeing you on camera, my friend.
Well, thank you. I actually got an audition today that I got to put on tape for noon. It's for a show that shoots in North Carolina. It's called Delilah. For Oprah Winfrey Network.
Nice.
How about that? Yeah, we'll see. It's a recurring role. We'll see what happens. I just do the best I can, hope for the best, and move on to the next. I got kids waiting on me.
That's it. That's all we can do is our best.
It's like do your best, and everybody else will help you with the rest.
Yeah. So again, I want to thank you, David. I love you so much.
Love you back. Thank you.
I'm so happy that you found the woman of your life.
Oh, my wife is amazing.
I'm finna say, when you posted the pictures of her, I was like, David then found him a cutie pie.
Man.
And then that video where she was dancing, I think I wrote on your post, I was like, oh yeah, keep her. Yeah.
Yeah, she just have dancing all by herself. She said, why do you do that? Because I like to see you having fun.
Because it wasn't even, it's something about the way she was moving. You know, everybody don't have that. That's the it factor. I was like, oh, no, I like her. I like her.
She's amazing, man. You know, she has amazing kids, you know. And, she has a granddaughter. I got 2 grandsons, which I hadn't seen one yet because of COVID. Yeah, and which is really odd because this character that I'm auditioning for is sort of situation, a strange relationship with his daughter, and he hadn't even seen one of the grandkids. I was like, okay, I can draw for that, even though we're cool, my kid, but you know, I had to, you know, you fit in where it doesn't make sense and make it make sense.
Well, again, I want to thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you on the big screen again real soon, the big screen and the small screen.
Yeah,
and
either one.
In between. Look,
as long as it's screen.
In between.
Absolutely. I'll do a play. They mess around with me. I sure will. To be or not to be. I'm teaching Shakespeare. I could do a little bit.
Thank you for being here, and I love you much, and I'll see you next time, okay? Have a good one.
You're welcome. Take care, Tricia.
So thank you all for watching Ask Aunt Tricia. I appreciate you tuning in. Please remember to click, share, and like. Also, hit that subscribe button. And thank you. I'll see you next time.